Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I've learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And I have two books to read today. I have the Daily Book of Positive Quotations, and I haven't read the meditation in there, but I looked it over, and I think it's a great meditation for today. And then I also have Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. I saw a comment on one of my videos the other day that somebody said they really liked this book, so I thought, I haven't read from this in a couple days, so I will read from this. Today and see what wisdom it had. Oh, I had my pen out. I wanted to make sure that I knew which, like I had check marked the one that I read. So I will read from this in a second, and then I will talk about it, and you guys can comment. Oh gosh, I need some water, and then you guys can comment on it in the comment section below. Okay, let's get into this. Are you guys ready? Today's meditation from the Daily Book of Positive Quotations is March 20th, Trying to be Happy. And the reason why I think this is a good meditation is that I think a lot of people are really struggling right now. I think the majority of us are at home. And I think, you know, for me, it's like I was looking outside today and the weather is just like gray and down and all that kind of stuff. And it just makes it even harder to be kind of happy and, you know, having positive spirits about things that are going on in the world. And just day-to-day things, right? So I thought this would be a good meditation to read. March 20th, Trying to be Happy. If only we'd stop trying to be happy, we'd have a pretty good time. Edith Wharton. We can spend a lot of time, money, and energy trying to make ourselves happy, eating fancy meals, going on expensive vacations, throwing big parties, buying nice clothes. We think these things will bring us happiness, but often our happiness is short-lived, lasting about as long as it takes to get heartburn from eating too much, return to work from vacation, clean up after the party, or realize that we don't look as nice in our clothes as we'd hoped we would. If we could learn to find happiness from moment to moment in the small things of life, we'd always have a pretty good time. I don't need something outside of myself to make me happy. Happiness is a choice I can make under almost any circumstances. And I think this is such a great meditation, especially right now. I was thinking earlier today that we would be in Miami right now under different circumstances, and today would be the first day of Ultra Music Festival, something that we do every year that we look forward to, you know? And when everything started happening and, you know, Ultra Music Festival, they canceled the festival, and then Alex and I made the decision, rightfully so, but now there's nothing even going on in Miami. We made the decision to not go, and we canceled our trip. I think like 2 weeks ago, actually. And, you know, at first I was kind of sad about it. I was like, because now we're looking at our next trip, and probably, you know, I'm assuming we're going to have to cancel that as well. And what it's done is, it's made me, like, refocus my gratitude, and Tanya and I were talking about this, my good friend Tanya, we were talking about, like, the importance of making gratitude lists, written gratitude lists, you know, and starting to see every little thing in my life that I'm so grateful for, you know, from my husband to my best friend to my dogs, to having a home to live in right now, you know, to food to be able to eat, and there are so many people that are suffering, you know, and just looking at each little thing and really being grateful for it, and it's really put my life in perspective. It's really made me realize, I mean, I did already, but even on a grander scale, what an amazing life I have and how blessed I truly am, you know, and when I look at things from that point of view, it's like, I have so much to be happy for that I need to, like, kind of refocus my level of happiness, you know what I mean? Like, if, for example, if it took these things to make me happy in the past, and I'm somebody that lives pretty simply anyway. Like, I don't need a lot to make me happy, you know? And, but there are things in my life that do make me happy, like having a fountain Coke with my friend and, you know, traveling with my husband. And those are things that I can't do right now. But there are other things that I can do instead. And I can look at my life and I can, you know, be like, I'm so grateful for this. And today I'm alive and I'm breathing and I'm sober. Like, that's a really important thing that I can't forget. Because sobriety is a gift. And, you know, I was, so I'm part of this group, this, like, private group on Facebook that's about, like, online meetings in Indianapolis and stuff like that. And people are, like, posting their sobriety dates underneath there. And it's this really cool thing to see this community of sobriety come together during this time. And, you know, it's just like every time I see one of those notifications come up, I've been on the Facebook. I know. Y'all know I think the Facebook's of the devil. But I've been on the Facebook lately and I've been looking at stuff. And it's just really made me, I don't know, like, even more grateful for my sobriety, because I'm seeing people people on there that I don't even know who these people are. Like, I know a lot of people in recovery in Indianapolis, but there's a lot of people on there that I've never met before, and just to see their faces and share their experience, it's just a really cool thing, you know? And so it's making me realign my gratitude on a very minimal level. I mean, like bare bones level. And I think that's really, you know, where I have to get to. It's like, okay, what things that I have been given that are truly, truly gifts should I be so grateful for? Like a home, you know, like a marriage, like a friend, like a best friend, you know? Not everybody gets those things. And food to eat, clean water to drink, health today. I don't know about tomorrow. I'm only given a daily reprieve. And my sobriety, you know? And it comes down to just those small things at the end, you know? So it's a great meditation. And then if I can look at things that way, then it'll help me be happier. You know, it'll help me look at the world and be like, well, I do have all of this right now, you know, and to not borrow trouble and look into 2 weeks and what's going to happen. And I think it's important, you know, that we plan for the future, but that we also stay in today and don't borrow trouble from tomorrow. And I think that's one of the hardest things for me. It's like, you know, when all this is going on, we don't really know what's going to happen tomorrow or the next day or whatever. And it's real easy to start like spinning in your head and borrowing trouble and being like, well, what if this and what if that and what if this? And I have found moments like the other night, I made a cup of lemon tea and I talked about this at length in my vlog. I put like creamer, almond creamer in it. I think I bought coconut milk creamer, which I don't ever usually buy, but I bought it. And coconut milk creamer and some honey. And I sat on the front porch and I just kind of like looked at the stars and stuff. It was a clear night. And I just was so happy in that moment. I don't know, like ecstatic happy. I wouldn't say joyful. I would just say calm, content, and just peaceful, happy, you know? And I think there's different levels of happiness. But I felt very content in that moment. Worry-free. And I think sometimes also, it's important for me to remember that I can put my phone down for a while. I can turn off my TV. I can disconnect for a couple hours if I need to kind of, you know, pull myself back together. And I think that that's important too for our well-being. Okay, let's read a meditation, or not a meditation, but a reading from Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's all small stuff. Simple Ways to Keep the Little Things from Taking Over Your Life by Richard Carlson, PhD. Let's see. Pulled this one open. Set aside quiet time every day. As I begin to write this strategy, it's exactly 4:30 in the morning, my favorite time of the day. I still have at least an hour and a half before my wife and children get out of bed and the phone begins to ring. At least an hour before anyone can ask me to do anything. It's absolutely silent outside, and I'm in complete solitude. There is something rejuvenating and peaceful about being alone and having some time to reflect, work, or simply enjoy the quiet. I've been working in the stress management field for well over a decade. In that time, I've met some extraordinary people. I can't think of a single person whom I would consider to be inwardly peaceful who doesn't carve out at least a little quiet time virtually every day. Whether it's 10 minutes of meditation or yoga, spending a little time in nature, or locking the bathroom door and taking a 10-minute bath, quiet time to yourself is a vital part of life. Like spending time alone, it helps to balance the noise and confusion that infiltrate much of our day. Personally, when I set aside quiet time for myself, it makes the rest of my day seem manageable. When I don't, I really notice the difference. There's a little ritual that I do that I've shared with many friends. Like many people, I drive to and from my office on a daily basis. On my way home from work, as I get close to my driveway, I pull my car over and stop. There is a nice spot where I can spend a minute or two looking at the view or closing my eyes and breathing. It slows me down and helps me feel centered and grateful. I've shared the strategy with dozens of people who used to complain about having no time for quiet. They would speed into their driveways with the radio blaring in their cars. Now, with a simple shift in their actions, they enter their homes feeling much more relaxed. I love that meditation. And I think it's, or that reading, and I think it's absolutely important to take that time, you know? I think when I got sober, I believed this idea of meditation was sitting there and getting really deep and, you know, like breathing exercises and things like that. And the idea that I have heard, to my understanding, that other people have passed down to me that are much wiser than I am and have been sober much longer than I have, is that when 12-step programs came around and they would talk about, meditation, what they were really talking about was deep thought. That at the time of the basic texts of recovery programs were written, that meditation equaled deep thought. Like the definition was deep thought. And so it really means just like sitting down and thinking about things and like on a deeper level, or centering and just alleviating your mind of anything that's going through it right now, any stressful thing that's going through it, just being like I did the other night, when I sat outside with a cup of tea and I just sat there and looked at the stars. I think we need moments of that. And I think I don't take enough of those moments, where I just sit and look at the stars and just be, And one of the things that I've loved, the last couple of days is that I've watched my neighborhood, and it's like a lot of older people in my neighborhood, and they just keep on walking. They just keep on walking, Some of them in pairs and most of them in solitude. And they just look up and they're walking. Most of them aren't even listening to music or anything. They're just walking, and thinking. And I think it's a fantastic way, for, at least while we can, for us to kind of just get out of ourselves, even just to walk in the backyard, and just kind of take some deep breaths and center ourselves. So love those. I love those readings for today. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I hope you guys are doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.